Good morning. Thank you for joining me. I'm Adele M. Anderson from Fulfill Your Destiny and from Destiny Getaways. We're located on the Sunshine Coast of British Columbia, and I'm coming to you live on Facebook. And I'm continuing with our discussion on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I personally prefer the more modern version of Barrett Institute. So we had spoken earlier about the first three phases of psychological evolution, moving into and through the teenage years, and now I'm moving into the fourth stage, which is transformation, which usually happens in anywhere from our late 20s to mid 40s. And so I'm just going to step away from the camera and allow you to view the beautiful Sunshine Coast. You can see the corner of my longhouse today, I think, which is an amazing post and beam and glass room that people love to enjoy. And so I'm going to step away and enjoy the view, and you'll hear my voice in the background. So as I said, today's talk is on transformation. So when we talk about the phases of psychological evolution, I use the Barrett Institute model. Most people are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it comes from 1945 to 1954. And so it's been around for a while. And the reason why I choose Barrett's is because I feel that the self-actualization section of Maslow's is broken down a little bit further, and I just like it, so I prefer that one. So we understand that the hierarchy of needs lies outside of what we desire for ourselves and the rewards that we look for in life. But both models reflect on the three basic phases of our actual needs, human needs. So basic survival, and then the second phase is psychological needs, and then the third phase is actually self-actualization. So moving towards a higher purpose, and it can be considered more of a spiritual awakening because we fulfill the deeper qualities of who we are and what that means to us in the world. So why is it important? Well, not only does the hierarchy represent our basic human needs, but it represents why we are motivated to do the things that we do. And as you know, that as we're moving through these stages and finding out what's motivating us, we develop what they call deficiencies. And most people would recognize those as emotional baggage. And clearly, many of us have these cycles of behavior that keep us trapped. So we feel the emotion rise up, the trigger is launched, and then we pass through a pattern of behavior that is embedded in our subconscious mind. And so we have this cycle that is perpetuated within our brains. And if we learn how this cycle is initiated and bring awareness to that pattern, then we can begin to break that cycle and to actually satisfy and master those deficiencies. It's easier to work with somebody on this rather than trying to move through it on your own, as you may have discovered that it can be a process that catches you by surprise when you think that, oh, I thought I had dealt with that, and here it came up again. And so then we recognize that it hasn't really been cleared. It's usually based in a subconscious, very deeply embedded fear or self-limiting belief that we have about ourselves. And so we need to actually find out what that fear is, and then find out what the root cause of that is. And by doing that, we can begin to release it. So how do we release it? How do we clear these deficiencies? Well, we master the different stages. And how we do that is not only through discovery and accepting what we are limiting ourselves by, but by working through them one by one. And there could be different layers. So as I said before, what we do is we begin an inner exploration, which is part of transformation, the stage that I want to talk to you about today. Transformation is actually going into the inner core of who we are. It's that inner exploration of asking, why am I here? What are my talents? What am I really supposed to do with my life? And what is really going to feed my soul? So what do I have passion for at the deepest levels? Why is it important to me to understand my core values and then to actually act on that? So often we have a dream of what we wish our lives to be, and yet there are reasons, which are deficiencies, of why we don't pursue them. So something's holding us back, and those are typically our subconscious fears and our self-limiting beliefs. Of course, there are circumstances in our life that we can make excuses. Well, I'm raising my family, I don't have the money, I don't live in the right home, I'm in a relationship that is putting me down. Whatever the belief is that is holding you back, we must understand that these can be shifted no matter how dire the circumstance in life seems. So, as if you've listened to my blogs before, you know that I was in a plane that crashed and overturned in water. And as I only had a limited amount of time, as I had no air, that I needed to make some pretty specific, clear choices about my survival. And by making those choices, I created the action that enabled me to find the information locked inside my brain to move forward, but also to take the action that I required in order to save my life. So life circumstances maybe not be that dire, or maybe they are. Maybe it is a life and death circumstance, which requires that we change our lifestyle, we change our way of thinking, we adopt a new belief system, and engage ourselves in a healthier way within the world and within ourselves. So finding this true, authentic self within and removing the fears that are holding us back and the self-limiting beliefs that could be something like I'm not good enough, or I'm not special, or I'm not physically capable, whatever it might be. These limitations can be overcome by creating a belief system of I can, and being very clear with the language. So just something to think about today. Transformation is all about aligning our core values to what we hold dear, and then the action that follows is precise and in alignment with what our dreams are for ourselves. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of information about transformation. I would be honored to speak with you in person, and you can either private message me or send me a connection through Facebook Live. And until we speak in person, go out there and embrace the day and find what really, really serves you.